Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Jim. I want to talk today about William Faulkner vintage paperbacks from the 1970s. These are some of my favorite paperback cover designs, and I want to talk about why they're so evocative to me, how I came about collecting them. We'll do some show and tell today. It's all Faulkner on Great Books, Big Ideas. Okay, let's do a quick overview of all the covers together. You can see they have a consistent style, similar fonts, and a similar approach to what goes on the cover. You might notice the absence of human beings. These are photographic covers. You do get a horse there. And down here for this title, The Reavers, you can just make out someone driving in that Jeep. But other than that, we're looking at a similar design aesthetic. Let's look at these one by one, and I'll show you what I like about them. We'll start with the first book that I got from this series. I probably got this in high school or college and read it during my college years on my own. The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. I was really taken with this graveyard photograph and like the burning sun. I didn't know what that had to do with the book, but it was evocative. It intrigued me. You can see the back cover here, just plain black with your blurb. These are published by Vintage. This is V-5. And let's see if we can get a publication date. Well, I don't think this is really showing the reprint date. This is based on a Vintage Books edition of September 1954, but this is obviously a newer cover than 1954. So we just have to guess. The other thing I don't know is who is responsible for this book design. Somebody must have been behind it, an editor, a graphic designer, typographers. They just did an incredible job. I really like how these spines look too. So this was the first, The Sound and the Fury. And then the second one I remember reading, most of these I haven't read, but the second one I did read is Go Down Moses by William Faulkner, V-884. Here's your spine. Here's your back cover copy. These do have ISBN numbers, which you can date them probably to the 70s. Here we do have a copyright renewed in 1970, so we know it's at least that old, probably a little newer. And these have like different short stories in them. One of the most memorable ones that struck me when I read it was The Bear, which is right here. Yeah, these paperbacks, you know, do have some highlights in them, and they're not always going to be my highlights. But yeah, that's another one I read. These roots, you know, sometimes what I like about a book cover is that it doesn't tell me too much. It's ambiguous. There's just this, you know, incredible image that makes me scratch my head and wonder, like, well, what does that have to do with the subject of the book? And it just sort of opens it up. It makes you want to keep reading. Here's another one I've read, Light in August. This is picking up on sort of like a lynching theme that you find in the book. This is V-189, original price $4.95. No blurb on the back of this one. This one's in very good condition, and this is the copy that I read. Some of these are reprinted from earlier editions, so you get illustrations like this. Let's see if we can find out the details here. The text has been photographed from a copy of the first printing. The publication date was October 6, 1932. So the insides is basically photographs of the first edition. But then they slapped this wonderful cover on it. 1972 here is when that came out. So by the early 70s, they were issuing this series. I just wish I knew who did the photographs, who did the design. If anyone knows, please comment down below. Here's Intruder in the Dust. I've not read a bit. I think pretty much everything, almost everything after this I haven't read yet. Intruder in the Dust. V-792. No blurb on the back. And it's a Vintage Books edition, came out in August 1972. The Hamlet, a novel of the Snopes family, V-139. Here's your blurb on the back. And I noticed some of these titles have ISBNs and some don't. Like that one doesn't. This one does. Sound and the Fury has a number. Nice photograph there. And I would find these at library sales, used bookstores. They do turn up. They're not infrequent. Says Vintage Books 1964 is kind of a renewed copyright, but this is clearly from the 1970s. So they didn't always tell you when these were reprinted. Here's The Mansion. Just the starkness. I think what I like about these is it evokes the Southern Gothic that's part of Faulkner's aesthetic. There is just sometimes these photographs, you know there's a story behind it. This one has a barcode. So that's got to be a little newer. And again, not in perfect condition. They have highlights. Can't get a proper date on that though. Here's 3 famous short novels. Spotted Horses, Old Man and the Bear. Some of these are actually in this book too, Go Down Moses. I don't know why they broke them out to a separate edition. This is V-149 with a blurb and an ISBN. I also like the quality of the paper, and usually most of these, like, they open nicely and they feel good in the hands. The condition will vary depending on age and use, but when you look at these all together, they really make an impression. Here's The Unvanquished, V-351. This one has some drawings with it by Edward Shenton, surely from the first printing. See if I can find any other illustrations. Yeah, there's some in here. Like I said, most of these I haven't read yet, so I have a lot to look forward to. Ugh, my fingers aren't working today. There we go. So that's a bonus when they have illustrations. Here's Knight's Gambit. 6 mystery stories. Again, Southern Gothic is being evoked by the photography. So short stories. This one has a barcode, but you know it's newer when they have barcodes. So this is at least from 1977, if not newer. Next is Requiem for a Nun. These are not in any order. I'm just randomly pulling them. V-412. Probably an older one because I don't even see an ISBN. Oh no, there's the ISBN on the bottom corner, but no barcode. This is another one I have read, but not in this edition, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. We have some train tracks. V-254. I read this in an American Lit anthology in college. The whole novel was in the anthology, but I didn't keep that. I do have a Folio Society edition of this, which is really nice. So my plan is to read it at least two more times, one in this edition and one in the Folio. I like this cover a lot. Absalom, Absalom. Look at those trees. I feel like I'm on the Gulf Coast or something. V-780. This is a book I started I had a hardcover edition of it that I didn't keep. I didn't get too far into this book, maybe about 40 pages, and then I stalled out. Through no fault of the book, it was just challenging, and I was reading too many other things. So, first Vintage Books edition was August 72, so this is newer than that. Yeah, a nice vintage 70s copy. I will get around to Absalom. That's probably the next one I'm going to try to read, is this one, because I started it and then I had stalled out. Here's The Town, a novel of the Snopes family with your picket fence. Second volume of the trilogy with the hamlet, the mansion, and the town. Barcode. The pages are a bit brighter on this one. This one's nice and floppy, good condition. And the Reavers. I used to have a mass market paperback of this, but it wasn't in good condition at all. I didn't read it. So when I finally came across a copy from this series, I snatched it up right away. This is a later novel of Faulkner's, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe one of his last. Original copyright 62. Yeah, that's late. Then we have Flags in the Dust. This one's pretty beat up, but beggars can't be choosers when you're collecting a series. I love the photography though. The complete text of Faulkner's third novel, which appeared in a cut version as Sartoris. Again, no indication of who's responsible for the design of these books, but I just love them. The wild palms. Also, if anyone can identify the typeface, I would love to know what they used. I used to have an app on my phone called Find My Font, and it was pretty good at recognizing it, but I don't have it on my phone anymore. This one's a little different because it doesn't have the black spine. And then the last, well, let me show you this. This one's like oversized. So here's Collected Stories of William Faulkner. You can pull it back a little bit, show you what that looks like. I'm not thrilled with like the little outlining they used on this one, but it is still in the, I think it's in the same typeface. The typeface almost looks different, but I think that's just the outlining that they did like that. And instead of using white or black, they used a kind of a mustard color here. Lovely photo though. I mean, this is the kinds of shops you would see all across the rural South. 42 stories. And this was a recent acquisition, definitely as recent as 1976. There's Barn Burning, one of my favorites. And then the final one I still got the price tag on it. This completed almost completed my run. This is the most recent acquisition. It was very hard to find. Sanctuary. I don't know why this one's a little rarer. I got it at Thrift Books. I'll have to peel off the sticker. But these I never would see in the sales or the used bookstores. So I had to go hunting for it on eBay. And you can find it, but they tend to charge more for this one than I would like to pay. So I finally found, I think I paid $6 or so. It was definitely under $10. That is not all that common. Usually when you see this crop up, they want more for it. Another evocative cover, this old jalopy junk with a bare tree. This is just the world, Faulkner's world. Like, this just takes me into the South, to Mississippi. You know, that's what I love about these covers, is they show instead of telling. But it all started with this one, Sound and the Fury. Also, there's one more I know I don't have, and that is called A Fable. I'll show a screenshot of it here on the video. You'll see it's just this sort of bright cross, so it doesn't really do the photographs that these others use, but it looks like the font's similar to the others. And someday I'll get that one too. And I think that's everything. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I have a near complete run of this series of paperbacks that Vintage issued in the 1970s, and I'm a happy camper. Well, there you have it. Here are all my Faulkner vintage paperbacks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 titles. I know I'm missing a Fable. If you're aware that there's any other Faulkner titles from this series that I'm missing, let me know in the comments and I'll try to collect it. I'm pretty sure I've got them all except for a Fable. But I just love these. I just love these titles so much. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of these book covers. If you love them as much as I do, explain why. Like, what is it about these? These just have an allure for me that I find irresistible. And sometimes, you know, a paperback is all you need. It's just to me is the proper way for me to read William Faulkner. I feel like the book covers, the design really suits the writer. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Happy reading. And let us know what you think in the comments. If you're new to the channel, hope you become a subscriber. Bye-bye.